Okay, I'm going to show you how to thread your brother serger. So this is the brother. The model number is 1034D. And I am by no means a serger expert, but I do know how to thread it and, do a little bit of sewing with it. So at least let me show you how you get your machine threaded. So you obviously, you need, there's places here for 4 threads. So you need 4 of these cone threads here. You have these are called, I believe, a spool cap. So you want to make sure you have these. They come with your sewing machine, and you just place them on your spool pin here. So you place that on there, and then your thread would go on each of these. Okay, so you want to do that. This is called, I believe it's called a thread tree actually. So you want to make sure you pull this all the way up as high as it'll go. So you pull that all the way up, do that first. Okay, and on each of your threads, you're going to take your thread and you will go from the back. So you make sure this tree is pulled up as high as it will go, and you want to feed your thread through the back. You come from the back of it. Okay, so do that on all of your threads. Okay, so you make sure your thread is here. And like I said, you come from the back through the front. So I have these already done. And then you can get started threading it. Now, if you look at your machine, so these numbers here let you know the order that you need to thread your machine. So where you see this 1, that means you need to start here. You have to do this one first, then you do number 2, 3, and number 4. You can't just go from, what is this, right over to left threading. You have to do it in order. If you don't, it is not going to work properly. Okay, so let's get started. So for number 1, so our number 1 here is the green. So you see how it isn't the first one here, it's actually the second one. So I'm gonna take my thread up here. It's coming from the back. Okay, number 1, there's a 2 right here. Can you see that little 2? Like from there, like at the beginning, it tells you, what steps to follow. There's a 1 up here on the thread tree. This is 2, 3, and so on. But you just have to make sure you do them in this order here. So once you've got your thread through here, the second thing you're going to do, this is number 2. So I just kind of hold my thread with my fingers and I slide it under here. Now to get it down through number 3, these little buttons here slide. So you have to push that back, and then you can slide it down through your tension dial here. So this is number 3 through here. Okay. Down at number 3, number 4 is behind here. So you just take this, push it to your left, and that pops open. And even in here, it's color coded to let you know this is green, so you just follow the green line. This is blue, you follow the blue line. For our number 1 here, we're down through number 4, past the tension guide. We're down through number 4. Number 5 is here. And you'll see that there's still that green line here. That's number 5. Number 6, there's a green dot and a blue dot here. And then on this one, there's only a blue dot. So that means you only need to get it under the first one. So I just kind of hold it with my finger so I can just get it under this first one here, which is my number 6 for the green. Number 7, you want to go behind this hook here. So you're just hooking it behind there. And then from here, you can put it into your upper looper. So your first thread here that you're doing is called the upper looper, and it would go into this one. And if you look, let me grab something so I can point. That's your upper looper, and then you also have a hole here. This is your lower looper. This is upper, this is lower. So your number 1 that you're doing is your upper looper here. Okay, so we've gotten it behind this hook here, number 7. So from here, you just thread it into your upper looper, and that's where your tweezers come in. Okay, so I've grabbed my thread with my tweezers, and I am just going to feed it through my upper looper here. got it through, just take my tweezers and pull it from the other side here. Okay, so that's just the first one. Okay, now number 2 would be this last thread here. So same thing, your thread is coming from the back here. Okay, you want to go down, get it under number 2, slide number 3 over to your right so that you can get it past your tension guide. Then come down. Okay, you come down to number 4 here. Your number 5 is here, and if you look, you know this thread guide is blue, your tension dial is blue, just follow the blue line. So you're going to put it behind that hook, and then if you come over here, number 5 goes under this one so that it can slide underneath 6 and 7. And if you look, the green, we just put it under this first one because there was just a green dot, but this one there's a blue dot here and there's a blue dot here. So if you slide underneath, all the way under, you get it under both of them. And then here is your number 8. And then your number 8 just goes behind here, right here where you see that 8. So you're just getting your thread into that hook there. Okay, and then number 9, that's where it gets a little tricky. Okay, so you see this here, you have, you know, blue here letting you know you still need to thread that part as well. So what you do, this arrow, slide it all the way over. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, so you just pull this all the way over, and it pulls out basically this little hook that it needs to get behind. So you see that? You can push it in. Let's see, works better with my tweezers here. So you can push it in, and the arrows line up, and you pull it all the way out. Okay, because you need to get your thread behind a little hook that's here. This little hook here, you need to get your thread behind it. So I just tend to kind of hold my thread, you know, fairly tightly, and I use my tweezers to get it behind there, because once you start getting into those little compartments, it's kind of difficult to get your fingers, and especially me with my nails, and I'm not cutting my nails. So all right, so okay, so now I have that behind that hook, and I'm going to hold my thread. Get my fingers out of the way. I'll hold my thread, and now I can push this back closed because my thread is behind it now. So push it back and line up your arrows. And from here, you thread it into your lower looper. Okay, same thing. You want to grab your tweezers again to hold your thread, and you're just inserting it into this little hole here, your lower looper. And it's going, you know, underneath your upper looper. So just get your thread through there, and I just kind of hold it so I don't get all tangled up. Okay. So that's just the first two. Now the other two are pretty straightforward. They're really easy, but let me show you that as well. Number 3 now is the pink one. Same thing. You want to start at the top here. Okay. Gonna get it under number 2. Slide this to the right to get it past your thread guide. Come down to number 4. And from here, you're just going over to your left. So you're gonna go, this is your number 4, you come down, you're gonna go under here, and number 5 is just back through this channel. Come all the way around. You get it behind. Now this part is pretty much like a regular sewing machine. You're gonna get it behind this hook here, and this thread is for your right needle. So let me trim it a little bit. Grab the tweezers again, and I am threading the needle that's to the right as you're looking at the sewing machine. Okay, one left. This is our last one. This is the yellow one. number 2, slide it past number 3, number 4, and this time, you know, you're just on this one, not that one, so you just follow this channel down. Number 4 is here, and it just goes under here and through this guide here. Okay, you want to get behind this little hook here, and now you're just threading your other needle. Only got one left here. Okay, that one's done. Okay, and that's it. So it seems like a lot, but once you get used to it, once you've done it a few times, it gets pretty easy. Just follow the colors here. Make sure you do it in order so that you can thread it properly. Okay, and then before you start sewing, you want to make sure you close this back up. And to get it started and make sure you're all set up, I just do like a chain stitch. So you just are pressing your pedal. So just doing your chain stitch to start it. It should look like this. And let's try it on some fabric. Press your foots up. Okay, we are good to go.